Then we have contract ID number 24GI0100, construction of bridge Barangay Camandag, Leon, Iloilo. Funding source FY 2024 General Appropriation Act RA number 11975. Scope of works, construction of hanging footbridge as per plan and specification. Approved budget for the contract is 4,950,000 and 138 calendar days contract duration. We have contract ID number 24GI0101, rainwater collectors in public facilities. Location within Iloilo 2nd Legislative District. Funding source FY 2024 RA 11975. GAA is at 2024-02-008587. Scope of works, construction of 7 units rainwater collector system. With approved budget for the contract, 2,895,000. Construction of rainwater collection system, Barangay Multipurpose Center, Lanastra, Barangay, Iloilo, 405,327 pesos and 65 cents. Construction of rainwater collection system, Barangay Bilida Multipurpose Center, Bilida, New Lucena, 405,327.65 cents. Construction of rainwater collection system, Sitio, Barangay Poblacion, Evacuation Center, Poblacion, Leon, Iloilo, is 405,327.65. Construction of rainwater collection system, Barangay Biring Norte, Multipurpose Center, Biring Norte, Leon, Iloilo, 418,950 pesos and 44 cents. Construction of rainwater collector system, Barangay Takuyong Norte, Multipurpose Center, Takuyong Norte, Iloilo, 418,915 pesos and 44 cents. Construction of rainwater collection system, Barangay Ambulong Multipurpose Center, Ambulong, Leon, Iloilo, 435,850 pesos and 56 cents. And construction of rainwater collection system, Barangay Aganan Multipurpose Center, Sangan, Leon, Iloilo, 405,327 pesos and 61 cents. And for the contract duration, 98 calendar days. Then we have a contract ID number 24GI0102, reblocking of road along Santa Barbara Bypass Road S00478 PM, kilometer plus -243 to kilometer 16 plus -195, and kilometer 16 plus 223 to kilometer 16 and plus 264. Location Santa Barbara, Iloilo. FY 2024 maintenance and other operating expenses. Scope of works, concreting or reblocking of road. Approved budget for the contract, 2,307,000 and 21 calendar days contract duration.
For the eligibility requirements of Class A documents and Class B documents. Under the Class A documents, we have the legal documents, technical documents, and financial documents. And for Class B documents, this is for joint venture. For Class A documents, we have legal documents. Under this, we have the registration certificate from Securities and Exchange Commission, Department of Trade and Industry for sole proprietorship, or Cooperative Development Authority for cooperatives. Another mayor's or business permit issued with the city or municipality where the principal place of business of the prospective dealer is located, or the equivalent document for exclusive economic zones or areas. And the third is the tax clearance for DEO 398 series of 2005 as finally reviewed and approved by the Bureau of Internal Revenue. For technical documents, we have the valid pickup license or special pickup license in case of joint venture, and registration for the type and cost of the contract to be bid. For contract ID 24GI0094, 24GI0098, and 24GI0099, the license category is C and D. The kind of project is DP-1 for building or industrial plant, and the size range is small b. For contract ID 24GI0095, 24GI0096, 24GI0097, 0100 and 24GI 0102. The license category is C and D. The kind of project is GE-1, roads, highways, pavement, railways, airports, horizontal structures, and bridges. The size range is small b. For contract ID 24GI 0097, the license category is B. Kind of project is GE-2 for irrigation and flood control, and the size range is medium A. For contract ID 24GI 0101, license category is C and D. Kind of project is GE-4, that is water supply, and the size range is small b. Another is the statement of the bidder of all its ongoing government and private contracts, including awarded but not yet started, if any, whether similar or not similar in nature and complexity to the contract to be bid. Another is the statement of the bidder's single largest completed contract, similar to the contract to be bid, as adjusted to current price using Philippine Statistics Authority Consumer Price Indices, and must be at least 50% of the approved budget for the contract to be bid, provided, however, that contractors under small a and small b categories without similar experience than the contract to be bid may be allowed to bid if the cost of such contract is not more than the allowable range of contract costs of their registration based on the guidelines as prescribed by the BCAP. Another contract shall be considered similar to the contract to be bid if it has the following categories. For contract ID 24GI 0094, 24GI 0098, and 24GI 0099, the major category works are buildings, construction without piles, low-rise concrete frame from 1 to 5 stories. The similar categories of work for buildings construction with piles, high-rise concrete frame, cast and placed piles. For building construction with piles, low-rise concrete frame, cast and placed piles. For building construction with piles, high-rise concrete frame, riverbed piles. For building construction with piles, low-rise concrete frame, riverbed piles. And for building construction without piles, high-rise concrete frame. For building industrial plant low-rise, building industrial plant high-rise, and building industrial plant medium-rise. For contract ID 24GI 0095 and 24GI 0096, the major category of works is roads, construction, pavement, PCCP. The similar categories of work is for road rehabilitation, PCCP, and for road construction, tunnel, PCCP. For contract ID 24GI 0097, the major category of work, flood control construction, slope protection using structural measures such as revetment, retaining structure, or widening. And the similar categories of work for roads construction, slope protection using structural measures such as revetment, retaining structure, and widening. For flood control, hydraulics, river control, works, harbors, causeway, flood control, hydraulics, dam. For contract ID 24GI 0100, major category work is bridge construction or building. Similar categories of work for bridge rehabilitation, steel, superstructure with riveted piles, bridge retrofitting, steel superstructure with riveted piles, bridge rehabilitation, steel superstructure with cast and placed piles, bridge retrofitting, steel superstructure with cast and placed piles, for bridge rehabilitation, concrete superstructure with riveted piles, and for bridge retrofitting, concrete superstructure with riveted piles, bridge rehabilitation, concrete superstructure with cast and placed piles, and bridge retrofitting, concrete superstructure with cast and placed piles. For bridge construction, steel superstructure with riveted piles, bridge construction, steel superstructure with cast and placed piles, and bridge constructions, concrete superstructure with riveted piles, bridge construction, concrete superstructure with cast and placed piles. Another, bridge construction, concrete, bridge rehabilitation, concrete, bridge construction with board piles, bridge rehabilitation with board piles, bridge construction scale, bridge rehabilitation scale, and bridge rehabilitation with positioning. For contract ID 24GI-0101, major category works, water supply level 1, construction, shallow wells, rainwater collectors. Similar categories of work for water supply level 2 and 3, construction pipe water with communal private water point, and for flood control, hydraulics water supply. For contract ID 24GI-0102, major category work, road rehabilitation, PCCP, and the similar category work, road construction, PCCP, road construction tunnel, PCCP. For financial documents, we have the bidders and the financial statements showing, among others, the bidders' total and current assets and liabilities stamped received by VIR or its duly accredited and authorized institution for the preceding calendar year, which should not be earlier than 2 years from the date of bid submission. The bidder's computation of net financial contract capacity must be at least equal the approved budget for the contract, computed using the prescribed formula. NFCC is equal current assets minus current liabilities times 15, minus the value of all outstanding or uncompleted portion of the projects under ongoing contracts, including awarded contracts yet to be started, coinciding with the contract to be bid. The values of the domestic bidders, current assets, and the current liability shall be based on the latest audited financial statements submitted to the VIR. For Class B documents, this is for joint venture, valid joint venture agreement in accordance with the RA 4566 and its IRR. Each partner of the joint venture shall submit their respective field certificates of registration in accordance with Section 8.5.2 of this IRR. The submission of the technical financial eligibility documents by any of the joint venture partners constitute compliance, provided that the partner responsible to submit an FCC shall likewise submit a statement of all its ongoing contracts and audited financial statements.
Submission in the state of this. The first envelope, the technical proposal, and the second envelope, the financial proposal. One original copy of the first technical and second financial envelope will be. Note, prior to the sale of bidding documents, only the following documents are required from the prospective bidders to it. Company ID or any government issued ID. The authorization letter, if not authorized, lies to an officer in the CWA, the special power of attorney for sole proprietorship, or board, partnership, joint venture, resolution with secretaries, certificate for corporation, partnership, joint venture, or cooperative. Content of the first envelope, the technical proposal. Valid and updated certificate of budget registration under platinum membership in compliance to the PPP Resolution 15-2021, dated October 14, 2021, issued in accordance with amendment section 8.5.2 of the 2016 revised IRR RA 9184. The PCAM license registration, special PCAM license with joint venture. The statement of all ongoing government and private contracts. The statement of ACLCC. The NFCC computation in GBA and applicable. The original copy of this security prescribed form, amount, and validity period, if any form or to a surety bond, submit also a certification issued with insurance commission or original copy of notarized base security declaration. For bid validity period, 120 calendar days from the date of submission of bids. For base security validity period, 120 calendar days from the date of submission of bids. The form of bid security. Cash or cashier manager's check issued by Industrial or Commercial Bank, 2% of ABC. Bank draft guarantee or irrevocable letter of credit issued by Industrial or Commercial Bank, 2% of ABC. surety bond payable demand issued to a surety insurance company duly certified to the insurance commission or as authorized issues as security 5% to ABC. Project requirements which shall include the following: the organizational chart of the contract with, the list of contractors personnel, the project manager, project engineers, materials engineers and foremen to be assigned to the contract with complete qualification and experience data. The list of the contractors, major equipment units which are owned in this or under purchase agreement, supported with a proof of ownership or certification of availability of equipment from the equipment lessor and vendor for the duration of the project as the case may be. And the original duly signed omnibus statement, and if applicable, the original notarized certificate in case of a corporation, partnership, or cooperative, or original special power of attorney of all members of the joint venture giving full power and authority to each officer to sign the OSS and do acts to represent the bidder. Content of the second block of the financial proposal. The original or duly signed accomplished financial bid form in accordance with the form prescribed in section 10 bidding forms of bidding documents. The original or duly signed bid prices in the bidding quantities. The duly accomplished details in this form, including a summary sheet indicating the unit prices of construction materials, labor rates, and equipment rentals used in coming up with a bid in the cash flow requirement.
Bid evaluation. The financial component of the bids of each phase bidder shall be evaluated using non-discretionary criteria, including arithmetical corrections for computational errors, and thus determine the correct total calculated bid prices. The Bids and Awards Committee shall automatically disqualify any total calculated bid price which exceeds the approved budget for the contract. The following factors are to be considered in the evaluation of the bid prices. First, completeness of the bids. This includes bids not addressing or providing all of the required items in the bidding documents, including the bill of quantities, shall be considered non-responsive and thus automatically disqualified. Next, no price in required item shall be considered non-responsive and thus automatically disqualified. Next, indicating a zero or a dash free to the government, and all prices are deemed to include all taxes. For arithmetical corrections, first, bid prices in figures versus words prevail. Total price per item versus unit price per item, as intended or multiplied by the quantity of the item, unit price prevails. Next, total price versus actual sum of component items, actual sum prevails, and unit cost and detailed estimates versus unit cost and bill of quantities prevails. And for the total calculated bid prices, as evaluated and corrected for computational errors and other bid modifications which exceed the approved budget for the contract, shall be disqualified. For cost qualification, the cost qualification shall verify, validate, and ascertain the veracity, authenticity, and validity of all the Class A eligibility documents supporting the field trip's certificate of registration and membership in accordance with Section 8.5.2 of revised IRR of RA 9184 and all other statements made and documents submitted by the bidder using non-discretionary criteria. These criteria shall consider but shall not be limited to the following: for legal requirements, to verify, validate, and ascertain licenses, certificates, permits, and agreements submitted by the bidder, and the fact that it is not included in any blacklist as provided in Section
25.3 of revised IRR of RA 9184. For technical requirements, verification and validation of the bidder's stated competence and experience, and the competence and experience of the bidder's key personnel to be assigned to the project. Verification of availability of equipment and or inspection and testing for the required capacities and operating conditions of equipment units to be owned, leased, under purchase by the bidder for use in the contract under bidding. Failure of the prospective bidder to state a complete technical description of the pledged equipment and its specific location shall result in the bidder's automatic post-disqualification for award of contract and forfeiture of its bid security per DEO number 58, series of 2012. Checking the performance of the bidder in its ongoing government and private contracts. If any of these ongoing contracts shows negative slippage of at least 50% in any one project, or negative slippage of at least 10% in each of 2 or more contracts. Failure of the contractor to commence repair works and to complete ongoing contracts in the prescribed date after receipt of the notice of defects and deficiencies. Failure of the contractor to commence repair works on contracts with pending certificates of acceptance in the prescribed date after the receipt of the notice of defects and failures. Substandard quality of works or unsatisfactory performance per contract term and conditions at the time of inspection. DEO number 127, series of 2018, strict application of RA 9184 in conduct of post-qualification of bidders with delayed ongoing contracts with the DPWH. Note if the BAC verifies any of these deficiencies to be due to the contractor's fault or negligence, the agency shall disqualify the contractor from the award. Ascertainment of the authenticity of the bid security and its correctness as to type, amount, form and wording, and validity period as required in the bidding documents. For financial requirements, to verify, validate, and ascertain the bid price proposal of the bidder, and whenever applicable, the required committed line of credit in the amount specified and over the period stipulated in the bidding documents, or the bidder's NFCC to ensure that the bidder can sustain the operating cash flow of the transaction. Notes on the personnel and equipment requirements of the project as per DEO number 9, series of 2012, technical requirements for civil works projects for public bidding. If a proposed key technical personnel is an employee of the bidder and working on another project at the same time of the bidding, the bidder shall submit a certification that the personnel will be pulled out from the ongoing project once the bidder is awarded the contract, and he or she will be replaced with another person with equal or better qualification as certified by the head of the implementing office. The bidder may propose a key technical personnel who is not its employee, provided that the said personnel is required to submit a certification that he or she will work for the bidder if it is awarded the contract under bidding. This certification shall be included in the first envelope of the sealed bid. Also to be verified during post-disqualification is the set of equipment pledged by the bidder. The bidder should specify in the submitted bid the location of the equipment where they can be inspected. If any equipment is not specified location, then the bidder shall be post-disqualified. For the list of key personnel for all projects, we have the following: project manager, 5 minimum years of similar experience and 5 minimum years of total work experience. For project engineer, we have 3 minimum years of similar experience and 3 minimum years of total work experience. For project inspector, 2 minimum years of similar experience and 2 minimum years of total work experience. For materials engineer 1, 2 minimum years of similar experience and 2 minimum years of total work experience. For safety officer, we have 1 minimum year of similar experience and 1 minimum year of total work experience. For foreman, we have 1 minimum year of similar experience and 1 minimum year of total work experience. For the list of key equipment units may be owned,
lease and own under purchase agreements supported by certification of availability of equipment from the equipment lessor or vendor for the duration of the project. For the lease of key equipment units, you may refer to the posted DD documents. The proof of ownership of equipment requirements are copies of current LTO official receipt and certificate of registration of equipment, which should be attached together with the affidavit of ownership. In case of leased equipment, a lease contract of affidavit of equipment of commitment rather should be submitted with the lessor or owner as a pledger of the equipment, stating therein that the equipment will be available for the whole duration of the project. For purchase agreement, the description of the equipment to be purchased, such as brand or model, type of equipment, motor number, other number, and the capacity must be indicated in the document. Otherwise, the bank will not honor the purchase agreement and the bidder will be declared as non-compliant. Likewise, lease of contractor's major equipment units pledged to be used for the project must be supported by proof of ownership if it is owned, lease agreement if it is being leased, and purchase agreement if to be purchased. A certification of availability of equipment for the duration of the project must also be provided by the equipment owner and or lessor vendor.
Sa gym.
Prospective bidders or contractors are likewise required for the inclusion of the minimum materials testing equipment in the technical component of the bid, in compliance with DEO number 11 series of 2017, superseding DEO number 80 series of 1990, and all other issuances. All documents in support of the ownership of equipment pledge and other documents photocopied from the original shall be legibly readable and will be authenticated as needed during the post-qualification process. Corollary, DEO number 55 series of 2012 dated August 29, 2012 further provides the inclusion of the material data on the pledged equipment of the bidder, by requiring all bidder or contractor to fully comply with the contract minimum equipment requirements as prescribed in the bid documents, a complete technical description of the pledged equipment, whether owned or leased, but not limited to the engine number, year model, chassis number, plate number, production and load capacity, availability and operating condition. In addition, bidders were also required to state in their bid documents the particular place or site where the equipment are located as provided for under DEO number 9, series of 2012. The failure to comply with the said requirements shall result in the bidder's automatic post-qualification for award and forfeiture of its bid security.
For contract award, the contract shall be awarded to the bidder whose bid has been determined to be the lowest calculated and responsive bid as a result of the detailed evaluation and post-qualification conducted. Contract award should be made within the bid validity period. Notes on subcontracting is not allowed. Common reasons for the rejection of bids, ineligibility, and post-disqualification of bidders. Failure to submit the original copy of the surety bond certified by the Insurance Commission, indicating the name of project, the procuring entity, and the name of contractor. Shorter bid validity and bid security validity period. Overlapping of pledged equipment and committed key technical personnel. Failure to indicate the validity of bid in the bid form. Late submission of bid. Failure to submit supporting documents such as certification of availability of equipment from the equipment lessor or vendor for the duration of the project, if equipment less is to be leased or purchased. Negative slippage of at least 15% in any one project, or negative slippage of at least 10% in each of two or more contracts, and unsatisfactory CPS rating. Common errors in the submission of bids. Incomplete pages of bids for technical and financial documents. Authority of the signatory to sign on behalf of the bidder. For the single proprietor, signatory should be the owner or proprietor only, and for the corporation and cooperative, board secretary certificate and board resolution, and for the joint venture resolution or agreement, and for the partnership as indicated in articles of partnership. Deadline for submission of clarification and amendment is on April 5, 2024. Address ko sa inyo si Kaikoy, Chairperson, email address kaikoy.sentia@dpwh.gov.ph or to El Nakini Pomosino, Head Procurement Unit, email address nipomosino.elna@dpwh.gov.ph. The deadline for submission of bids April 15, 2024 at 9 a.m. and the number of copies of bid proposal, one original copy for the first technical and second financial envelope of its bid, and for the place of submission of bids, Back Procurement Office, DPWH Iloilo Port, District Engineering Office. To all prospective bidders, you may submit your bid either electronically or manually pursuant to Department Order Number 87 Series of 2020, and submit your queries if any until April 5, 2024, at least 10 days from the opening of bids. Our pre-bid conference adjourned at exactly 10:45. God bless.